Okay, 90-day focus. I want to share with you the social media planner that we use for the 90-day focus. So, why 90 days and month by month? Because this allows for significant data accumulation. By posting a variety of content or testing out platforms, it allows you to observe your audience behavior over time, including trends, peak engagement times. You can experiment with different types of content. You can track engagement to determine what resonates with the audience. And doing it over the 90 days covers 3 months. This often accounts for those seasonal variations in engagement and interactions, especially when you got like mums, if your audience is in doing school holidays and that type of stuff. And it also helps in learning the social media algorithm by maintaining a consistent posting schedule, which in turn helps build trust and loyalty with the audience through regular and consistent posting, which is so important and often so overlooked. Overall, a 90-day test or 90-day plan provides a robust, actionable insight to guide future social media content strategy. So how to do it? I will say you do have to know your buyer types. Customer buyer types, there are 4 of them: assertive, amiable, analytical, and expressive. You do need to know your customer buyer type. You do. That's the thing, right? I'll leave a link to the masterclass below. You've got to pick your focus. Is it the sales? Is it loyalty? Is it scaling? And then you need to select at least 3 different types of content to test. I always start with 3. I feel like that's a great one for your first 90-day plan. I would not be doing any more than 3 until at least your second or third 90-day plan as well. So there's heaps of different types of content. A couple that come up regularly for my clients are trust building content, educating, agitative, and problem desire aware content. And then I believe pick at least one platform to focus on. Just start with one and get really good at it rather than starting to try everything. Like I'm going to do a podcast, a blog, and YouTube, and TikTok, and Facebook, and Instagram, and Pinterest. What if you just started with one, did one for 90 days, and then maybe the second 90 days you add in a secondary one. At the end of the year, you've probably mastered 4 platforms instead of done a really, really shit job at 16 platforms, right? So pick one to focus on. Then choose your frequency. This comes back to your personal capacity and how comfortable you are with social media as well. If you're really uncomfortable, you've never done it before, you've got no fucking idea what you're doing, and it's really overwhelming, maybe once or twice a week is all you need to worry about. Whereas if you're someone like me who has an overflow of content, you're going to easily be able to post 3 times a day and not have a problem with that. But choose your frequency that works with you. And I say, don't bite off more than you can chew, because the aim here is to build consistency, right? Choose your format: video, static, carousels, etc. How often will you do each of those? It might be I'm going to post 1 static, 1 carousel, and 1 reel every single week on Instagram. And that's what I'm going to test for 90 days, right? You just set a rule for yourself, make it like a process. You know, when you work for someone else, it's every day at the end of the day, you've got to go and vacuum and lock up the safe and do the banking. Create it like a process like that for yourself. Every single week I have to post 1 static, 1 carousel, 1 reel on Instagram, and I have to do my Sunday check-in. You know, it becomes a rule, it becomes a policy, a procedure, and it's just easier to do. Put that into a plan, collect your visuals, write your captions, plan your hashtags and keywords. And at least I like to have at least 3 different versions. I'm going to show you what I mean in a second about that. Make sure your branding is consistent in language and styles for your visuals. You want someone to be able to land on your page and know exactly what brand they are looking at, right? Decide what you will track. Sorry, I got to stop touching my mouse when I do this. I got to use the arrows on my keyboard, not the mouse. Decide what you will track and test. Example, are you looking on growing followers? Are you wanting more engagement? Are you looking just for reach or DMs, sales, etc.? Choosing the focus. And then here's what it looks like. If you're doing the 90-day plan with me in the challenge, you will be able to go and download the social media 90-day planner, which has this content pillar section where you want to basically go in and put your 3 content pillars that you're going to be focusing on. This example, so it doesn't have the text in there. And then you want to create your hashtag banks as well. So this is an example of one of mine. These are the hashtags. I have actually 6 in the notes in my phone and in my social media plan. I would start with 3. You basically want to find hashtags that are location-based, target audience-based, niche-based, that tell people what you do, where you're from, who you help, and then you create it in a bank of 30 hashtags and then probably 5 or 6 keywords as well. And that goes into all your social media posts, whether it's putting the keywords into the reels, whether it's using them on YouTube, whatever it is. You basically want to have 3 sets of hashtags to use and 3 sets of keywords that you can use and rotate through the 90 days. And then we basically put it into a content calendar. We break it down every single week. however often you want to post. This is the thing. It's got every day there, but I've got clients, very high up end clients that I consult for, where we only focusing on posting 3 times a week. I've got clients who only post once a week. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But here is your plan, your map, and you basically want to have your visual, the hook that you're using, the caption, and the call to action in there, and then you bring one of those hashtags into that first comment, or however you're going to use the hashtags based on what platform you're using. But this is how we map it out week by week over the 90 days. If you are part of the challenge, you will have a full version of this to play with and make your own. And then we actually do a social media tracker, which is great. So you've got your platform, your initial count, the goal each week as it's gone up, and then the total count overall, a space for notes and reflections. And you can track it on the graph there if you would like. So there's a way that we actually track every single platform. One of the really interesting things I always think in the 90-day plan is for myself and for everyone else, it's often really funny that the platform that we focus on, we always have some growth on, but there's always like a secondary platform that we didn't put much attention into, that always just kind of like pops off out of nowhere, just based on the consistency that we're putting into this, the other work that we're doing. For me, last time I put all my eggs into TikTok and I was like, yeah, this is going to be amazing. And it actually surprised me. LinkedIn and YouTube had the most amount of growth for me. So it's always really interesting to see. And that's not something I would have been able to pick up, notice, or understand why it happened unless I was doing a 90-day plan. So let's fucking go, baby.